Hello everyone, let us start now discussing Lesson 7, Bias and Prejudice. Bias. It is the human tendency to make systematic errors in judgment or when making decisions based upon certain thinking, thoughts, or preconceived notions. So, the key word for this is unfairness, or a person is having a favor, okay, to another one or to another person. That is the classification or how you will distinguish bias. Here are some examples of a situation wherein there is a bias, okay, in each scenario. For example, reporting the same thing everyone else is reporting, or to avoid offensive stories so no reader or viewer turns away. So usually it happens in the media or in the news, in the field of reporting or reporters. Another is speaking articles or stories that are pleasing to the owners of the media organization or network. So sometimes, or not sometimes, but in reality it happens in the network of ABS-CBN, wherein President Duterte asked to close their network because of bias news. Another in the field of media, okay, or social media, selecting media stories based on what will please advertisers. Okay. Then what if an online news outlet biggest sponsor was a major airline? So for instance, it's possible that outlet might headline stories pertaining to incidents on other airlines and hold back stories that made the airline look back. So in this case, being biased, they are just reporting what will please, okay, or what will the viewers will give sympathy, but then they are not reporting what's behind the story. Prejudice, a prejudgment, an assumption made about someone or something before having adequate knowledge to be able to do so with guaranteed accuracy. So our keyword here is discrimination. You can also associate it with being judgmental, wherein you are judging something or a person based on what you see or based on your personal opinion and not in facts. Example of prejudice. Some people may consider all Muslim women to be illiterate and uneducated. This is actually a prejudice against religion and gender. Why? Because not all Muslim women are illiterate. Okay, there are some of them are in today's generation, in today's time, they are leaders. Okay, they are rulers of their place. Okay, another example of prejudice. Until the early years of the 20th century, women were not allowed to vote. But today, okay, nowadays there is what we call the gender equality between men and women. Another is the Holocaust happened partially because of prejudice towards Jews. So when we say Holocaust, this is sacrifice using fire. Okay. Then another is women are not allowed to drive in Saudi Arabia and they are required to walk behind the man who is with them. So actually this is their culture and custom in the country. Okay, another example. Okay, it is related to our lesson last time about racism. So in the United States, black people could not sit in the front of buses or use the same water fountains as white people until the 1950s and 1960s. So until now, it's always happening nowadays in the US because of the racism. They are discriminating black, even the Asians. Okay, next is private clubs are often exclusive. For example, some don't allow members who are black or Jewish. So it is an example or part of the racism under prejudice. To sum up today's lesson, okay, about bias versus prejudice, so let's differentiate these two terms. Okay, so first is bias. It is an inclination for or against a person, idea, or things, especially in a way considered to be unfair. So this is unfair because you are giving a favor to other person, while prejudice is preconceived opinion that is not based on actual experience or reason. So like what I've said a while ago, you are just basing your judgment on your opinion or personal opinion. Next is bias is both negative and positive attitudes, while prejudice, it usually negative attitudes alone. And then another one, in bias, it results unfairness or favoritism, while in prejudice, it results discrimination, okay, or being judgmental. So that's it. That's the end of our lesson. Be ready for our question and answer time later. Thank you for listening. See you next meeting. Bye everyone.